Well, there was four teams left here in the National Lacrosse League. We are doing our 2025 NLL Finals, semifinals, Game 1 preview. Buffalo Bandits, Vancouver Warriors. Get ready for a freaking war between these two teams because this might be the most anticipated matchup throughout the rest of the league right now. I mean, obviously Saskatchewan and Halifax is going to be good, but this is a team with some history with these guys. The Bandits and the Warriors have had some history. The Bandits have had some history with Christian Del Bianco. I'm going to hit you with a fun fact right out of the gate here, courtesy of NLL Fact of the Day on Twitter. They said Buffalo is 3-4 all time against Christian Del Bianco, under 500 record against Christian Del Bianco. Vancouver is 1-2 all time against Matt Vince. Neither team has ever met the opposing goalie in the playoffs. So Vancouver has never met Buffalo in the playoffs. Obviously, Buffalo has met Christian Del Bianco in the playoffs in the 2019 finals. The Bandits have a 3-4 record going up against Christian Del Bianco. Now you're going to see them again in a best 2 out of 3 series. Vancouver obviously beating Matt Vince for the first time in Banditland. Last, what was it, March, I think it was?
Yep.
Should be an interesting series. Get ready for a war. Get ready for some back and forth action. It's a best of 3. You got Game 1 coming up this Friday night, May 2nd, 2025, 7:30 in Banditland. Then you have a Sunday night game at 9 p.m. our time for a certain Game 2. And whatever happens at the end of that, we'll have to see how the weekend pans out. The Bandits could clinch. Vancouver could clinch. We could go into next week tied 1-1 apiece. And we'll be looking at a semifinals matchup for the week ahead. But, Tony, going into Game 1, though, this is the game that we're going to be focusing on. How are you feeling going into this week?
Well, I'm not scared, but I am a little nervous. I mean, because the last time when we played them at home, we did end up losing, but we said the same story about the Seals too. But it just seems like they have that little extra edge, especially from their goaltender, Christian Del Bianco, who had the Bandits number in 2019, who had the Bandits number this season, just for the one meeting only. But things can possibly change in the playoffs too, as the Bandits did prove last week. But can that same momentum carry you to defeat a hot starting goaltender like Christian Del Bianco since he signed with the Vancouver Warriors? Now, you could just say he's a human being and he's getting lucky, or he's just that good too. The Bandits have a tough test coming up. It's going to be one of their best series ever to watch, and it's going to come down probably to the very last minute of each game between these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely anticipate that, but, it's not just the Bandits that have been dominated by Christian Del Bianco. He is still undefeated since the trade deadline when he joined the Vancouver Warriors. And he's been out of the game for quite a while. They didn't meet his contract terms in Calgary.
Nope.
He got dealt at the trade deadline. As soon as he goes over to Vancouver, hasn't lost a game. So
that's pretty good.
He has had a great history against the Buffalo Bandits, especially on the grandest stage of them all in the championship finals, right around over a half decade ago. But it's not just the Bandits that he's been dominating the entire league. I think it's destined for the 1 seed, the team that's been consistently winning championships for the past 2 years, to try to dethrone that. I'm kind of with you, Tony. Except I don't really know how I'm supposed to feel going into this one. I mean, Vancouver, if my mentality is, if you guys want to win a championship, you guys have to get through some of the toughest talent to get there, especially a three-peat. I mean, this isn't just like 2023 where we're 15 years removed from a championship and we're like, man, I don't care if it's the easiest way possible or if it's the hardest route possible to get to the championship finals. I just want to get there and I just want to win. They're going to make you really work for this one, for the third straight. I mean, going back-to-back is already hard in itself, but then when you have this on your radar, you have a San Diego team that was young and flashy going into your house. You had to beat them. Now, who's next on your schedule in a best 2 out of 3 scenario is the Vancouver Warriors, a team that hasn't lost a game since before the trade deadline. no one said it was going to be easy. It definitely was not going to be easy. But I will say this, Tony, this game coming up on Friday night is a game the Bandits absolutely have to win. You cannot afford to go down 1-0 in the series against Vancouver. If you do that, you are almost drowning at that point. You are almost on life support. You can't go into Vancouver on a short rest. You have the Saturday off, then you got to play Sunday. Saturday's your entire travel day where you're going to be traveling after that Friday night game. Saturday's your travel day, and then you have a quick turnaround Sunday. If your backs are against the wall going into Vancouver down 1-0, that is when I'm thinking I don't think the realm of possibility for a three-peat is really in the cards. A game that you have to win is game one. You got to get off the deck. You got to kick them down, make them get back up, and avenge that defeat in their house. Go into their house with a big 1-0 series lead against them. Because typically, and I know Adam Levy tweeted this out earlier in the week too, the only series in NLL history where the team that won game one lost the best 2 out of 3 series was the 2022 finals, where the Bandits won game one against the Mammoth and then dropped the next 2. So these rules have been in place. The finals have been 2 out of 3 for so many years now, probably over 10 years, where it's been a best 2 out of 3. And it's only happened one time where the team that won game one lost an entire series. So I'm going to go with the odds here. You have to win game one. If you win game one, the odds are in your favor that you are going to take this series. So this is your most important game right now. Every playoff game is important. But when the series is tied 0-0, haven't faced against each other in the playoffs, Vancouver and Buffalo have never met in the playoffs. I mean, why would they? Because the unified standings are now a thing, I think that started like a year ago or so. So they wouldn't really see each other anyway. But it's the first time you guys have met. Clean slate in the playoffs. It's a whole new season. You have to take game one. Game one has to be a must. If you lose game one, you probably got a less than 25% chance of winning the series, and that's just putting it lightly.
Yeah, I was going to mention the fact that you brought up 2022's final, especially with going against Colorado when you won game one and then you lost the last 2.
Only team to do it in NLL
history. Only team to do it.
Only team to do it.
And the Bandits need to do what they do best, and that is rely on each other. Defensively and goaltending has to be superb like they did against the Seals. You play smart, and you keep them at bay. You let Matt Vince see a lot of shots, and you obviously got to block their shots. This is the point where I think I've said this before, is going to be your toughest task. This year is one of your toughest tasks to do. You had obviously the Seals first, which you split, and it could go either way. You faced Vancouver one time this season, but again, it could still go either way. You just have to have that. Right. You still have to have that team chemistry, stay focused, don't take stupid penalties, and just go forward from here. You guys have the team to do it. You just have to find Christian Del Bianco's weak spot and exploit him. And once you do, I don't see the Bandits losing this series. But if Christian has your number and he stops the best that Byrne, Dane Smith, all our forwards and defensemen that can shoot, we're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and I mean, I like the way that you put it there. When you mentioned, we only lost the one game to Vancouver, only met them once in the regular
season. That's it.
Season. I mean, is it very similar to that of the Georgia Swarm? We only saw them once last year. That was at home in the regular season. What'd they do in the playoffs? The Bandits got the win. You want to know why? Because the playoffs are a whole new season with a whole hell of a lot more on the line.
Absolutely.
The Bandits know. They know. They usually are pretty good about bouncing back. And what I mean about that is, remember how defeated they were after the 2022 finals?
Oh, it was brutal.
They're like, we never want to feel this feeling ever again. And that was just a whole shitstorm of bad emotions all around that arena that night. You don't want a repeat of that. You guys know what it feels like to lose against Christian Del Bianco. But don't you want to wonder what it feels like to beat him in the playoffs? That is something the Bandits have yet to do. And if you give them another checkbox that they can scratch off on that checklist, they're already going to be motivated enough to go into that game and do it. They've conquered, they've won championships. This core has won multiple championships, but they don't know still what it feels like to eliminate the beast in Christian Del Bianco in the playoffs. This is still that dragon that they've been chasing, haven't caught just yet, or haven't had the opportunity to catch, because Calgary really wasn't in contention to go to the finals the last few years the Bandits have gone. So they haven't seen Christian Del Bianco in the playoffs since 2019. They're still chasing that dragon down, trying to get under their skin. Here's the deal, Tony. When you give them bulletin board material like that, Johnny T is going to get the boys fired up. The boys already know what's at stake. They want to three-peat. They want to be the second team in National Lacrosse League history to go back to back to back. Matt Vince can do the greatest thing ever, and with two different teams, go back to back to back and really solidify his legacy as the ultimate GOAT in the whole National Lacrosse League at the goalie position. They know what's in store. We just cannot have a repeat of what happened in March. A game where you had them on the ropes. That 2-goal lead late in the fourth. They take dumb penalties. They lose in regulation 13-12. And you had them on the ropes. You made Christian Del Bianco look human. And that is all we're asking for this weekend. You got to make Christian Del Bianco look human. You could beat them. Look at what Rochester did. Everyone thought it was garbage time in the fourth quarter when they were down 11-4. What was the score at the end of the game? 15-11, I think it was.
15-10.
15-10?
Yeah.
Rochester was crawling back. Christian Del Bianco was letting in some bad goals there in the fourth quarter, to the point to where they're like, okay, it's time to lock down now. Like the Rochester Nighthawks are coming back. Like, this is a single game elimination. Vancouver's human. You are the champions. Go out there in game one and freaking put it all on the line and prove it.
Yeah, make a statement is basically what you said. And not only to bring back that game, too, that we lost to them in the regular season, but both goaltenders didn't look like themselves in the get-go. They were letting everything go by them in the first period alone.
Yep.
Or first quarter alone. Let me correct myself. But
I totally forgot about
those two couldn't figure each other's teams out to save their lives. So if you bring that mentality to beat Christian Del Bianco like that, but keep it consistent by every quarter, even if it's an average of 3 goals per, that's still 12 goals. That's still capable of beating him, possibly, but I still think the magic number to me is 14, just to keep it safe.
Or there is no magic number.
Or there is really no magic number. I don't care if it's 20-19. As long as you get that 1 goal better than your opponent, so be it. I'll be happy with that. But other than that, I think if the Bandits go into this series and they say, okay, guys, come on, let's really look back at what we did to Christian Del Bianco right in the first quarter. First quarter alone. We keep that up. We don't keep off the gas pedal. We will beat these guys. And you have to have that confidence in you that your defense, not only did they flip the script from regular season mode to playoff mode, they went beast mode, containing the Seals only with 4. That's only a goal per quarter that they've allowed. That's huge. You go in there, I'm not expecting it all the time against Vancouver, but if you keep them at under 10, I'm proud of you.
You should win.
I know a lot of people will be proud of you.
Yeah.
Think that. Just think that for a moment and just go with that game style. But beat them every quarter, known to man. Just beat them every quarter.
Yep. Even if it's 1-0 every quarter, as long as you have a higher number than the other team, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think we should get into our players to watch for Vancouver. We've already talked a lot about Christian Del Bianco, and for all the right reasons. The dude is hasn't even suffered a loss yet in Vancouver. Maybe things will change this Friday night, or at least you hope so.
It will.
Players to watch. One guy that I'm thinking of that was a huge thorn in Rochester's side last weekend, Jeff Cornwall, former Bandit. He's a defender that plays a lot out of the back door, but when called upon, he does score a lot of goals out of the transition. Sneaky, under the radar kind of guy, very physical threat. Jeff Cornwall is definitely up there for me, and he made his presence known in the playoffs against Rochester. He had probably one of the best games in his career, and he's still chasing his first championship too. He's still really chasing that chip. So Jeff Cornwall, a little under the radar jab that I threw out there, but he's definitely a player to watch.
Yeah, defensively, and he can still score. He's like, if you put Nick Weiss, same difference. That's one of your defensemen that can score. Look at Cam Wires. If he's on a break, he'll score. It could be Steve Priolo. Same thing. Cornwall finds the way to score goals, even if he's not in transition or he finds a way to break out as a defender. But that's one key player to watch. You're absolutely right. I couldn't agree more. Also, I think another player to watch, and I'm going to let you steal the one other player, but I'm going to go with Kevin Crowley. Guy plays, he's like your bandit thorn on your side. You kind of want to pluck out and go, okay, that's enough of you. But he finds a way to score goals too. Yep. And you've got to slow him down to 2 goals per game. If you can't do that, Kevin Crowley's going to have a heady to a sock trick every time.
Yep, he is a well-established bandit killer. He is a Zed Williams that plays for the Vancouver Warriors. He is a Ryan Benesh type of player. He is a Jeff Teat. He's just one of those players that is just absolutely relentless against the Buffalo Bandits. Definitely a good pull there. Matt Beers also playing out the back door. Very, very locked down on defense. As great as his last name is, and the fact that his number is 2, because that's the amount of beers that you can really carry at the same time at the KeyBank Center. That was kind of funny. Always two beers on the back of his jersey. He's a shutdown defender, despite the funny last name and the funny number on the back of the jersey and the funny play on words. There's nothing to laugh about with his game. I mean, the dude is an absolute lockdown machine. He is a unit, and obviously one of Christian Del Bianco's best friends, because when Del Bianco's not making the save, it's usually Matt Beers blocking a shot.
Yeah, you want to compare him to either like Paul Dawson or Steve Priolo that get in front of the way. Matt Beers is one of their guys that they do the same thing. He's locked down. He's tough. He will make you, earn your keep if you want to get by me to get to the goaltender. So we have to find a way to throw him off his game, but it's not going to be easy. Matt Beers is a tough defender to beat.
Bandit's got to start shotgunning some beers. That's what they have to do. Make his life a living hell out there. Shake the beer can. Shake the beer. Have it spray everywhere, and then have it be a complete mess in the crease. Just throwing some beer puns out there.
There you go.
Stone Cold Steve Austin them together.
Yeah. Yes. We're gonna Stone Cold Steve Austin them. That's what we're gonna do.
Give him the stunner.
Yes. Give him the stunner. Craig England's coming back to do so. Craig England is coming back.
Come on.
Keegan Ball. Another guy that they've been looking to all year round. He's their top scorer too as well, having probably one of the best breakout years he's had in his career. What a time to have to face him. And that's going to be a guy you're going to have to limit down to 2-3 goals per game or less. Because if he finds a way, he is so good at what he does. And he just shoots from every angle. He's just like Curtis Dixon or Wesley Berg. He finds that net somehow, some way. So the Bandits defense has either got to get out and not play the so-called tight high slot area, but they got to literally be man-on-man with him.
Yeah, I mean, you might not be seeing a lot of the zone or the more of the self-contained defense at the top of the crease. You might be seeing more man-on-man. You might be seeing some more man-on-man coverage there. And it might be interesting to see. It's I don't know if I really like the matchup, though. I mean, there's a lot of Bandit defensemen that can easily get caught in a flat-footed situation. I'm not sure how I'd feel about that, but Johnny T's going to cook something up on the defensive side of the ball. So we'll see. I think we'll see a good mix in coverages. We might see some good mix in man and some self-contained zone. We might see a good mix of that. Christian Del Bianco, obviously, the number one player to watch for this entire series. That goes without a shadow of a doubt. This should be interesting. After scoring 5 goals last week, who are some of your key players to watch for the Buffalo Bandits? I mean, you got to think who's had some semifinal success. Josh Byrne obviously comes to mind, being one of the top playoff go-getters. Dane Smith really turned it on last year in the semis against the Toronto Rock. He was a menace. You know who else was a menace physically and mentally and goal-scoring-wise even? Nick Weiss. We saw a little bit of the goal-scoring action from him last week, but something about the semifinals. Nick Weiss has some absurd numbers, whether it's assists or goals or penalty minutes, I guess you could say, because, Billy Hostjauser wants to pick a fight with him, I guess. But Nick Weiss turns into a physical freak into the postseason, especially the semifinals. Look up the numbers. They don't lie. Who are some of the players you're watching outside of maybe your typical, who I think is long overdue for a breakout game, Josh Byrne, and Dane Smith, who did score last week, but it really wasn't Dane Smith. It really wasn't a Buffalo Bandits offense type of week. But who are some of the players you're watching? I spoiler alert, mine are Josh Byrne and Dane Smith, but yeah, go for it.
Which is fine. I'm going to stick with the guy with the hot stick who scored 2 goals last week, and that's going to be Ian McKay. The man's in beast mode right now and having a career year, scoring so many. He had like 30-something goals, 30-plus goals this year, and he's already had 2 goals in the first round of the playoffs. Keep the man with the hottest stick out there and score the goals for you. If Ian McKay can do it, let him. I mean, that's one of the guys I would at least say that could do what he does best. I got to still go with my guy. Got to go with Kyle Buchanan. Yeah, he scored the game winner with the 0.10 of a second left in the first half.
Game-winning goal.
And he did miss some opportunities where it could have kind of pulled away from the game, but we're not going to go that route. Kyle Buchanan has still got that go-to attitude, that attitude that we've been looking for, and he will find the net again. He does. He's so consistent except for that last week in Georgia, but other than that, he's going to find his rhythm again, and it's going to come at the right time against Vancouver. Another guy to watch, and I'm sure he's going to hopefully get under their skin with that smile of his, but also with the goal scoring, and that's Chase Fraser. Fraser needs to find that hat trick type game right now. Every game. That got to flip the switch on and off, on and off, on and off. It's got to be Chase Fraser right now getting that hat trick every game possible against this team. And most importantly, I'm going to say this as a group. The defense has to stay or stick to the plan. That's what they got to do, like they did against the Seals. Just beat Vancouver the same way. Do not give them an inch at all.
What you did last week by cutting off every single angle, getting in front of shots, sacrificing the body to stop the shots.
Yep. Got to do it again.
That from last week and paste it into this weekend. Copy everything well that you did and then paste it right into this weekend. I guarantee you Vancouver won't score above 10 goals. You will keep Vancouver to single digits if you play as strong of a performance as you did. Zach Belcher last week had a phenomenal game. The entire defense, Cam Wires was out there. Paul Dawson was looking like he was, 41 years old? He looked like he was 21 out there last week.
I'm going to look that up because I don't know if that's his age.
He's something like that. Paul Dawson had the game of his life. Defense was looking great. I would go with that. I think Matt Vince
39.
39. So he was playing like he was 19.
Yeah.
Just blocking every single shot, sacrificing the body. He was great. And one of the players that I really need to start watching right now, and hopefully, he's been really long overdue. I know he's been battling different injuries and stuff, but Tehoka Nanticoke needs to just completely explode. The offensive numbers are going to come. We said that last week about the entire Bandits offense. We said that the offense is going to come back. When Tehoka Nanticoke feels comfortable out there and he's scoring Tehoka Nanticoke type of goals, you're probably looking at a 14, 15, 16 goal game from the Buffalo Bandits. If Tehoka Nanticoke is feeling good and he is in a rhythm, it's going to be tough to stop this Bandits team. And it's been a long time since since we've seen one of those ESPN top 10 Sports Center type of goals from him. And it's been a long time since we've seen, just even like a 2-goal game from Tehoka Nanticoke. I know he's been battling a lot of stuff. And speaking of injuries, one of the reasons why I put Josh Byrne out there is because Adam Levy did tweet Josh Byrne is expected to play. I know that he injured his ankle or something. He injured his ankle or something in the second half of last week's game against the Seals, but he is expected to play. So if something has to catastrophically go wrong for Josh Byrne to miss the game, but Tehoka Nanticoke, who has been activated, he was activated last week off the injury reserve, wasn't really seeing much out of him throughout the entire year. We saw a lot of him early on in the regular season, like in the first 4 weeks, 5 weeks, but we haven't seen a multi-goal game from Nanticoke yet. We haven't seen the 2024 late season Nanacoke. We haven't seen the 2022 almost rookie of the year Tehoka Nanacoke numbers. Why not this week to really go off? You know that
series
on Christian Del Bianco, his first goal in the NLL was against Christian Del Bianco. Not a lot of players can say that in the National Lacrosse League. Tehoka Nanacoke's first NLL goal was against one of the greatest of all time.
Wow.
He knows how to score on this guy. Del Bianco is human, and the Bandits have a shit ton of firepower on that offense, especially. I mean, outside of 22, 92, 95, and 4. You got one to worry about. You got, Nanacoke. I mean, you got all these players that could just show up out of nowhere. I don't really know what to expect as far as the quantity of goals that this team is going to get, especially coming off a week where you only score 5. You hope you score more. You kind of have to score more. But we need some of these secondary guys outside of Buchanan and Fraser to light the lamp. Nanacoke, we need you this week, bro. We got to see a multi-goal night out of number 1 Tehoka Nanacoke.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he'll find his rhythm again once he gets, his feet wet again, if you want to say, especially after last week's game. But maybe that might be the jolt he needs and the inspiration from his teammates to keep playing and to really push himself to, draw penalties. And the goals will come. And I think it'll take a little bit of time, but depending on what injury he did suffer, and I don't even know what he still suffered, but I'd like to see number 1 get a hat trick night or back to a 5-goal night if that I can't be that needy or ask for him to score 5, but it would be nice to see that. Also, it would be nice to see if Chris Kluche is going to be coming back and to see if he can start getting back into the goal rhythm like he used to. But if, again, depending on what his injury is and whatever he's got going on, it would still be nice.
I think it was a healthy scratch last week. Now that you
maybe this might be his calling. This might be his moment overdue. That's come in and so, okay, guys, I can take the reins. Good. Then start scoring goals.
Yep, that's it. And I know that we've been talking a lot on this show about Christian Del Bianco. The Bandits have actually never won a playoff game against him. They've won regular season games against him. They're 3-4 all time against him. But
0-2?
0-2.
0-2, I think.
I mean, they only met one time for one series in the playoffs, and that was the core of this team was so young too. Maybe outside of Sean Evans, if you remember that name. And
oh my God,
I mean that was so long ago. Gordon Thurston was on the team. Mitch DeSnew was on the team, and I think Matthew Bennett was probably on the team as well. A lot of those. I mean, that was a long time ago. 2019 was a long time ago. Chase Fraser, I think, was year 2. Ian McKay recently won Rookie of the Year that year. I mean, that's how long ago it was. Times have changed.
Yeah.
Anything can happen going into this round of the playoffs. But we have to mention Matt Vince, obviously, as one of the players to watch because, holding a team down to 4 goals last week was very, very impressive. Truthfully, it's hard to do that back-to-back weeks, hold them under 5. I don't expect it happening. That's why we spent so much time talking about the importance of offense going into this week. You know how hard it is to hold a team under 5? No, to hold a team under 10 back-to-back weeks. Can you imagine 5?
That'd be sick.
I don't realistically seeing that happening. I can see Vancouver scoring anywhere between 7 and up, 8 and up. So that's why we talked ad nauseum about how important this offense it has to be going into game 1. It's a whole new season. Take whatever you learned in March and use that as bulletin board material, but don't even think about the March game anymore. This is a new season. It's not the regular season anymore.
That's right.
Clean slate. Your record right now is 0-0. That is your record. You got through San Diego, Vancouver, you got through Rochester. Your record is 0-0, clean slate. You don't have any wins above 500. You don't have any losses below 500.
That's
so
right.
What we need to do now is probably the best part, the most anticipated part of the show, the world famous score predictions.
Okay.
Well, we can do this. Here's what we can do. Game 1, we're gonna predict game 1 of the Bandits and Warriors. We're also gonna throw in, just for fun, our game 1 predictions for SAS and Halifax.
Okay, I like that.
So to keep everybody waiting still, let's do Halifax first.
All right. All right, that's fine by me.
Let's
Let's
make
do
all of our
SAS.
listeners and viewers stay till the end of the podcast. Listen.
That's okay. You want me to take the reins for this game first?
Go for it.
All right. Well, between the two teams, they do have strong goaltending. They have the defense that could hit either way. It could be a 13-9 battle to a 15-13 battle. So for the first game, because it's in Saskatchewan, correct? Or is it in Halifax first, then they go SAS?
Yep, Saskatchewan first. They had the 2 seed. Halifax is the 3 seed. So they are playing.
I thought game 1's in Halifax first, and then they go play back-to-back SAS in games 2 and 3. Is that what the schedule said?
If that's the case, that's ridiculous, but I don't know.
But that's what they chose.
Yeah, well, okay. So maybe that is the case. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. Maybe you would rather have games 2 and 3 if you're the higher seed at home. Maybe. I don't know. That's
what they chose, I guess, apparently. So, or however the bracket was set. I don't know, but that's how it was set up on the screen.
Saskatchewan, just because they had the 2 seed, they finished right behind us in the standings. I know Halifax was 3rd, so that was kind of why I thought that. But yeah.
Well, regardless, both teams are going to be battling, I think, because they have that mentality to score 10 plus goals. So I'll keep it simple. And I was right when Halifax did defeat Calgary, but I just don't know. Maybe because of the home field advantage for the first game. So with that being said, I'm going to stick with Halifax, and I think it's going to be Halifax 14, SAS 11.
14-11.
That's what I'm going to go with.
That's funny. That was the score that I was brewing in over
14-11.
But the only thing is, I had it the complete opposite. I had Saskatchewan taking the win over Halifax 14-11.
Nice. You going to stick with it?
I'm going to stick with it. I think the Rush have
proven
all season long that they are going to be
sense among goals. Nice.
I was thinking, I'm like, I don't know, do I want to go 13-10, 14?
Oh man.
Yep.
That is so crazy. We both thought the same score. That is sick.
Yeah, I think that Saskatchewan's riding high right now. So that is a tough team. Very, very strong defensively. I think they have a better defense than Halifax does. I also think they have better goaltending. So that might benefit them.
That could be possible
more than it would benefit Halifax. Now let's get into Buffalo, Vancouver. This is what everyone was waiting for. Game 1 to take an early stranglehold on the series, to go up 1-0. Tony, do you want to start?
Yeah, I think I got a good idea what I want to say or what I want to predict. The fast starts. If we're going to do keys to the game to score predictions, if you go with the fast starts like you did last time and then you just settle off the gas and kept hitting the brakes, that's not going to win you this game. But if you keep that gas pedal going and your secondary plus your high-scoring offense comes back to life, this game could be big. And I'm talking like back when we played Philadelphia and we won 19-14. So that being said, I'm going to say the Bandits win. They're going to do it at home because they're going to have Banditland behind their back. Bandits 18, Vancouver 14.
Wow. So high scoring.
It's going to be a high-scoring game.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you talk about a jump, too. Both sides of the ball. Offensively, you scored 5 the previous week. You jump all the way up to 18. Matt Vince allows in 4 last week and then allows in 14 the week after. Hey, it could happen. We've seen some stranger things in this league. So
sure can.
I'll go a little bit lower on the scoring because I think we're going to see some good defensive bouts here between the two teams.
Okay.
But I will also side with you and say the Bandits win regulation 12-11, and it's going to come down to a last maybe 5 seconds to go save by Matt Vince.
Oh, boy.
12-11, I can see the Bandits trailing a little bit in this game. I can see the Bandits taking the lead. I can see the lead switching.
Yep.
Every now and then throughout the duration of the game. But I do have them winning 12-11. I don't have it being a blowout by any means. I mean, this team had that one random game. I keep going back to that Tehoka Nanticoke, his first game. I remember when they played Christian Del Bianco that night, they beat him 16-9. Like, they gave up 16 goals. That is a Christian Del Bianco we haven't seen in 3 years. But who knows? Maybe he might show up on Friday night. Who knows?
I would love to see that.
I do have it being very, very close the whole way through. I got Keegan Ball scoring a few goals, obviously. Josh Byrne doing some Josh Byrne stuff. Dane Smith. Hopefully Chase Fraser and Tehoka Nanako can get on the score sheet too. But yeah, 12-11 is my score prediction. You got to win game one. Game one has to be a must. And man, because you are looking at some deep trouble if you lose game one with your backs against the wall on a short break on the travel day, going all the way across the continent, going to Vancouver. You can't afford to go down 1-0. Now, it works both ways. Vancouver has to travel all the way to Buffalo during the week this week. It works both ways. You know how important this game is? You have to take a 1-0 series lead. Make them spend their entire travel day on Saturday thinking about, man, maybe if this happened, we could have won. If this happened, we could have won. Make them feel sad for themselves and have to go into their barn with their backs against the wall, already down 1-0 with very little rest. So that's another reason why this game is so important to the Bandits. You have to win this game, get a stranglehold on the series, make them go into the travel day pissed off, upset, just down on their luck. And good things are probably going to happen in game two. Just saying.
Yeah, the Bandits just have to have faith in themselves, play as a team, talk to each other out there, and just don't quit until that final buzzer. Play 60 minutes like they've been trying to do all season long, which, again, with this series coming up, you got no choice but to play 60 minutes.
Yep. I mean, you cannot afford to go scoreless. You can't. And I know that we already kind of mentioned it when we kind of gave them the little pep talk in the beginning of the show, but briefly, we can go over some keys to a victory. I feel like we had to get our score predictions out there just so the fan base knew where we were standing in this game. By no stretch are we saying, oh, it's a surefire win. No, I don't feel that way at all. It's not like Buffalo's playing Las Vegas or something. I remember that preview. I'm like, oh, yeah, the Bandits should absolutely spank them. I don't feel that way at all right now. We already kind of said it before. You can't take penalties. That's my number one key to the game. Because penalties really killed you last meeting against Vancouver. They really did. That was the thorn in your side. That was the Achilles heel of the downfall that happened in that game. And I can't emphasize this enough. Scoreless quarters have to stop. They have to. The fact that I'm even putting an S, a plural, at the end of the word quarter is embarrassing.
Yes, it is.
Come on. We have been bitching nonstop. For the past 2 months about these 15-minute frames where you don't see a crooked number on the scoreboard? We need to break out of this funk. And, your guys are getting healthy again, whatever. You're going to break out of that funk, but I don't care if you scored 8 in the first. Don't go scoreless in the second. You have to score every single quarter. You can't give them a window of opportunity. You're just opening the door for them to make a potential comeback. You have to keep the consistency going. If you go, and I know I said this last week, and it's going to be ha-ha if the Bandits go in the second quarter and they don't score a goal and they somehow come out with a victory. I know I said last week, if you don't score in a quarter, you're going to lose. Well, 5-4, setting history. We're talking historic games. What are the odds you go back-to-back historic weekends as far as goals are concerned? I'm going off on a tangent here, but you cannot afford to go scoreless in a frame. If you go scoreless, I promise you're going to lose. Having said that, do your best to hold them to a scoreless quarter like you did last week against San Diego. You pretty much held them to 2 scoreless quarters of their own. And that is not a slouch team by any stretch. That team should not have been 9-9. I thought they were much better than their record says that they were. But you held them to almost 2 full quarters shut down. If you do that to Vancouver, just shut them down for 1. Maybe just hold them to a goal in a quarter. You are going to win. So it works on both ends. Another key to victory, and we said this 8 trillion times this season too. The
I think I know where you're
freaking
going.
loose balls. Oh my God. The loose balls need to be better. I don't know if that means Kyle Matisse comes back. For all we know, the injury report's going to come out tomorrow. We're going to see Kyle Matisse comes back, and we're going to be like, oh, sweet. If the ball's on the ground, if you value winning, go after it with 125%. The amount of loose balls that San Diego had last week, ridiculous, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Stop with the one-hand scooping. Scoop with two hands. Every loose ball should be yours. Pretend that I'm going to use old Mini Mites hockey anthology. When I used to play like house league hockey when I was like 8 years old, the puck, our coach said, pretend the puck is like $1 million. Do you want anyone on the other team stealing it from you? No. Pretend that thing is a money ball. If it's on the ground, it's anyone's. It's not yours anymore. Jump on it like you really want it. Pretend that thing is a money ball.
Mm-hmm.
Because loose balls, we've been saying this for a couple months as well, Tony, that has been an Achilles heel with this team too. If you figure that out, if you tweak that up, you ain't losing. You're going back to the championship. And this is what I was telling my friends, my family. The year Peyton Manning won his first Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know what you guys are going to say. Oh, he won because he played against Rex Grossman and the Chicago Bears. Okay, I get that. Look at the team he had to beat to get there. This is very, very similar circumstances for the Bandits this year. They had to get through Tom freaking Brady to get to Rex Grossman. They had to get through the loud and very, very freezing cold temperatures up in Baltimore to get to that AFC Championship game to beat Tom Brady to go to the championship. Here's what I'm going to say. If you beat Vancouver, who I think is the biggest threat to the Bandits right now in the National Lacrosse League, if you beat them 2 out of 3, I don't care if you get it done in 2, preferably in 2, but I don't care. If you get it done in 3, hey, you still got it done. If you win this series, this is the Tom Brady-esque Vancouver Warriors, you will win the championship. I like the matchup. I like the potential. I like the idea of the matchups on the other side. I feel like if the Bandits beat Vancouver, they have enough firepower to hang with Saskatchewan, and they have enough firepower to hang with Halifax. And they proved that in the regular season that they could hang with those guys. All you have to do is get through this freaking series, and the three-peat is yours.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
This is the biggest threat to you. And if you make a statement out of them, the three-peat is basically yours. You just have to go out there and actually play the games.
Mm-hmm.
So just take it a game at a time. Start with game 1.
Yep.
Don't do the stupid stuff. Do the stuff last week that helped you win. And obviously, the only nuance to that is put a couple more, or actually a lot more balls in the back.
Yeah, a lot more. Yeah, 5 goals is not going to be enough. You guys need at least double digits to win this game.
Yep.
So go out there, play what you can do. Don't take dumb penalties like towards the end, which almost probably could have gone the other way. Dylan Robinson, I hope you're listening.
Yeah.
Please don't go for the head. Go for the shoulder. Go for the body. Just don't go for the head. That's the thing that they're going to see most, especially in this series coming up. I know they don't call it mostly our way, but it's been Buffalo versus everybody.
Right.
You go in there, you play Bandits lacrosse, and you come out victorious. Like Trevor said, you surpass this series, you're golden for three-peat.
Ideally, you should be.
Ideally, because you guys deserve it.
Yep.
This is your test. This is going to be your toughest test this whole year, and it's against the number 1 guy who should be the number 1 most wanted, Christian Del Bianco, on that board, and it's time to take him down.
I mean, I don't see how it's not destined. If you beat a team that's been undefeated since the trade deadline, like this is the most scorching red hot team in the National Lacrosse League right now.
It is.
If you get through them, what makes you think you can't get through either Saskatchewan or Halifax? I
couldn't agree more.
And times have changed. 2019 was a long time ago. Throw that in the garbage.
Yep.
Potential championship meeting, 2016 was also a long time ago. Just focus on the task at hand. Whether you're playing Saskatchewan or Halifax or Vancouver, you only got 4 teams remaining in the National Lacrosse League. There could only be one champ, and there's only one team out of those 4 that have won back-to-back in the last 2 years. So why don't you keep the trophy at home? It starts with game 1. Starts with game 1.
Take it to them at your own house, guys. All you can do is play as one, and don't let that change.
That's it. That's it. But yeah, Tony, we got a high-scoring battle. I hope it's a 4-goal victory for the Bandits. That'd be very convincing on their end.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't care how you get it done. Like I said on the last show,
yep.
Just have an extra goal than they have.
That's
one more than they do. And that's all I care about. I don't care about how low scoring it is. I don't care about how high scoring it is. If you just get the job done. I mean, we're not talking about mid-season skids anymore or momentum in the regular season anymore. All we are talking about here is wins and losses.
Yep. Just play one game at a time. But most importantly, beat them here first.
Yep. Friday night.
Let's go.
Be there.
KeyBank Center, going to be loud and proud. We got to really shake up Christian Del Bianco's spirits. So, Banditland, let's get rowdy and let's get under his skin quick.
And let's get rowdy for the sponsors too as we wrap up this episode of Banditland Boulevard before game 1.
That's right. Banditland Boulevard is part 2 and brought by Mitchell's Tavern, located at 734 Sheridan Drive up in Tonawanda, New York. Guys, from Banditland Boulevard, myself and Trevor Hauer over there, we would wish you guys go check it out. Their food is spectacular. Their service is amazing. They will treat you like family. Also, we'd like to thank Herney's Journeys. If you guys want to book your next vacation or trip, please contact Suzanne Pike at SuzannePike@Herney'sJourneys.com. Let her book your next big adventure. Also, we'd like to thank those who are watching us on YouTube through StreamYard here. Give us that like, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell every time we talk about Buffalo Bandits lacrosse. And for those who still follow us to this day, listening in on every device known to man, on your tablet, your phone, or your radio through Spotify, give us that 5-star rating, and we will keep continuing talking about the Buffalo Bandits and the heart of Buffalo's most strongest team.
Yes, most strongest team. That's the team with 6 freaking banners hanging down from the rafters.
We want 7.
We want 7. That's what
we want. 7.
That should be the tagline going into this year's playoffs. That's what it
absolutely
should be. We want 7, or we want 3, or tic-tac-toe because we want to get 3 in a row. That's what we want.
Right. And speaking of 3,
speaking of 3, we always, in case you guys are new to the show or you long loyal listeners, we always end the show with 3 simple words, and it's 3 words that you hear at every single Bandits game from the legend that is Christopher Swenson. What are those 3 words, Tony?
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go, Bandits! Let's get it done Friday. Win at home and beat them on the road. End this quick. Let's go.
Game 1, game done. Put them in the ground. Let's go.
Let's go.